listening to the Age Tech Podcast, the show that brings you the movers and shakers of the age tech ecosystem, with your host, Karen Etkin.
Esther, welcome.
Thank you so much, Karen, for having me. We've met before, and it's really nice to do something on camera together. SāGe is the gig economy for older adults. So there's so much expertise and experience that older adults have accumulated over years of their career work, hobbies, anything that they've really put their minds and focused on. And SāGe brings an opportunity for them to continue to share that and make money doing so, offering supplemental pension and also bringing meaning and connection between older adults and intergenerational connections.
What made you start this company?
I started SāGe a year and so ago. I actually started it for my parents. So there was a lot of things that I wanted to learn. I live in Tel Aviv, my parents live in Montreal. There were things that I kept thinking, what if my dad lived around the corner from me, things like carpentry or welding. And it started to make me think about who are the people who live in our neighborhood, who are the people who live in our community, and what are the things that they have to offer. And there must be a way to pay an older person who still has probably tools in their shed that are just being completely unused. It's a lot of unused resources, and also a way to have that extra connection, that type of family connection, and that I wasn't having specifically here. The initial idea was to connect people in person, so you can set a radius and you can find out who are the people on your block, who are the people around your corner. You can learn anything from music lessons to business to growth hacking. And we're set to launch actually March 2020, which was terrible timing. It was going to be focused on in-person connections. So I took a couple days and then pivoted to bring the platform online, and that was really when we grew, and that was really when we realized just how big this opportunity is and how much potential it has, connecting people around the world and being able to see that technology isn't that scary for older people. You deal a lot with that. That was really when SāGe turned into a much bigger conversation.
How does it actually work? What can people expect when signing up for SāGe?
So SāGe right now, we pivoted a little bit to move into the experience economy. People are looking to, yes, learn and upskill, but at the same time, they're looking to meet like-minded people and really have an experience, and that's what we're leaning into. So if you go on our website, there's a huge variety in categories, anything from cooking classes to, we have chess on there, and we have, growing your own startup. I've used it for my startup. I've connected with some of the experts and SāGes on our platform. And once you sign up, and it's very simple, it's 2 or 3 clicks and you book a class, and then you can sit together with a few like-minded people. It's a maximum of 4 participants to learn whatever it is that you want to learn together. And there is an option to connect with the participants following the session and to connect one-on-one with the SāGe for a paid one-on-one interaction to really get the most value out of what you want to experience.
That's amazing. And SāGes do get paid, right?
So currently, the experiences themselves are tip-based. Following the experience, we've had a lot of people share tips with the SāGes, and the one-on-ones are paid. If you take entry to Excel and then you realize that there's actually points that you really want to focus on and you want that one-on-one experience, and that would be a paid session with any one of our SāGes on the platform, as an example.
That's amazing. And is it available globally?
SāGe is available globally. We have SāGes in Canada, USA, Israel, Australia. We've had people from South America join the platform, so it's very, very, very much global. And it's fun because people are actually quite surprised to see who are some of the other people on the classes, or just sometimes the SāGes are very excited to hear where you're from. And it really brings an extra element of culture and diversity to our platform.
It's great to hear. It sounds like a wonderful experience for everyone involved.
Yes, we've had really wonderful feedback. I think that's probably the thing that's been motivating me the most is really seeing the feedback after every single class, both on the SāGe's end and also on the user experience.
Amazing. So what is the bigger vision? Where do you see SāGe in 5 or 10 years from now?
Some of our bigger vision is, first of all, we want to be the gig economy for older adults. We really want to offer this supplemental pension, which many people can't afford to live on their pension, and it's a taboo subject that's being addressed more. Something else I'll throw out is ageism, which is really growing rapidly and maybe finally starting to be talked about, and we're proving that older adults still have so much to contribute, and as they're being sort of moved out of the workforce, we're saying, no, they're okay with technology. There's so much that we can continue to learn together from each other. And I think that that's really, when someone does do an experience, some of the feedback we get many times is people telling us, wow, I didn't know that this person knew more about this topic than I've heard on YouTube or read online. And it's really, really fascinating. And I think every time it changes someone's opinion, that we're hoping really continues to spread and really change the narrative on aging and turn it into something sexy and cool. And I think that's what we're trying to do. Some of our other plans down the pipeline is we want to take experiences and really turn them into in-person experiences. Once we come out of Corona, we want to turn them into SāGe in the classroom. So if you're in a classroom, you can really bring in a SāGe from maybe someone across the world who's sitting on a Zoom and really talking about that historical event that you're trying to teach the kids. We're trying to turn into really creating the gig economy. We have a lot of exciting ideas in store and we're trying them out in different locations. We're currently a finalist in the city of Melbourne, talking about reimagining the city. And this is again like something that's tackling Corona and the city post-Corona, which is where we're connecting SāGes specifically with kids in the classroom. We're part of the SFI project in Tel Aviv, which focuses on loneliness in seniors on welfare. And so we have a lot of exciting things in our pipeline, and our team is growing as we find the right people who are just as passionate about aging and solving the same issues that we're really completely dedicated to solving. And we're really excited to see where this is going.
Wow, it sounds like you have a lot on your plate in a good way.
Yes, there's definitely a lot on my plate.
And I think you touched on a really, really important point here. We have a tendency to think that just because we have the internet at our fingertips with such a wealth of information, there are still human beings out there with a knowledge that is more vast than anything we can find online. So having SāGes teach us from their own personal life experience is invaluable.
Yeah, we've actually experienced that. Like, I think one of the first SāGe class that ever happened, I still don't even know how the guy found us, but it was an Excel class. He was based in Canada and our Excel SāGe was based in New York. And it really proved immediately the value of the connections, because this was someone who was having trouble with some of his spreadsheets, some financial spreadsheets. I think he was a realtor. And he had this 20-minute session at that point. We were running 20-minute sessions, free sessions with the SāGe in New York. And following the session, the SāGe followed up with him and said, let me fix your spreadsheets. I think that's also the value that we really create, is that you're not walking into a class and walking out. This is someone who came on the platform and is dedicated to their subject and really will put in that extra effort to make sure that it's completely understood. And we've seen that time and time again. And that's really where our 5-star rating probably has come from, is that extra mile that SāGes will go, where an hour isn't an hour. They'll follow up with you or they'll stay on longer. It's something that I'm excited to see more people take advantage of and really have that type of experience.
So is there anything else you would like to add?
I think we're currently building a SāGe community, and this has always been part of our core beliefs from the beginning, is that if we believe in SāGe, we're going to walk the walk. We've had, all of our SāGes have always been part of a very transparent conversation of what we're doing, in our startup, and as things pivot and as things change, we've had open conversations about it. And this is something that we're putting even more of a focus on by building a SāGe community, talking about what are financial struggles people have, how much time do people like to contribute, really understanding our market and the needs of the community, the demographic that we're trying to respond to. So we welcome SāGes, any people to our platform to join, or even just to contribute to the conversation and help us solve this together. In terms of funding, we're bootstrapped. We've been from the beginning. I think people ask us a lot about that. So we're looking at some point really to find the right investors who line up with our vision and see us and see the type of world that we're looking to create and really solve this conversation with us. And that will happen. The conversations are in motion, and we're just looking forward to see where this is going to continue to go, me and my team.
Wonderful. Esther, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Karen. This is a pleasure, and excited to see your next conversation.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Age Tech Podcast. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcasting app.
For more age tech content, visit thegerontechnologist.com.